Good afternoon. I'm Alex Tremaine. I'm an old man that builds Gundam. And today I am continuing the joyous week of not having to be in the office. I do not have to work, therefore I can build robots. And if I'm building robots, I might as well stream building robots, because why the fuck not? So, this is an extra stream. I normally stream Tuesday evenings and Thursday evenings, 7 till 10 UK time. You can find VODs on the channel of the previous builds. I'm currently on the regular streams building a master grade full armor unicorn. Last night we finished the right leg. It is now a one-legged unicorn, yeah, that's happening Tuesdays and Thursdays. But in the meantime, I generally have something that I'm building off stream, because sometimes you just want to build a Gundam, and the unicorn is currently the mainstream build. So off stream and occasionally on stream, I've been building this master grade ReZEL, which is coming out really very nicely. I'm liking the colour scheme on this. I think it's got some good contrasts, and the kit itself has been a real joy to build. So I'm going to be continuing on with this today. Last thing I did was get some feet built, so I believe that the next step is to continue on with the legs on this one. So let's just get these parts out of the way for the moment. There we go. Is there anything else to say? Probably not at the moment, other than I am keen to, as much as I'm enjoying this build, I am keen to plough through it, because I've had the most pleasant surprise today, which I might talk about later, of a new kit that I need to get to. I need to get to being able to build, but I currently have two kits on the go, this one and the unicorn from the mainstream, and what I don't want to be doing is having three kits on the go, so this needs finishing. Going to be here till sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock-ish. I have to go out a little bit after that to pick up some shopping, and then Wednesday evenings I have I'm running a Hero 5th edition game for a bunch of friends, so I shall be here till about 4:30, 5 o'clock. In the meantime, I'm just going to dig into this. So we are looking for D6, F13 and K26, and we wanted two of each of these. So D6 is this one. We are nearly finished with these D screws. In fact, I think we will be finished with them fairly shortly. Hope everybody out there is having a good week. I realise that I'm a lucky little scumbag not being in work this week, so for those of you who are suffering through work, I hope it's at least not too much of purgatory at the moment. K26, this is the right one, isn't it? Yes. So yeah, I hope it's not been too awful, but you know, hang in there. We are halfway through the week. The weekend approaches to bring its light upon us, which is always nice. It is, considering how warm it was on the weekend, it is fucking cold here today. I left the house earlier, which is not something, I mean, leaving the house is something I try and avoid doing. Even before lockdown, I tried to avoid leaving the house if I could manage it. But I left the house this morning and it was 2 degrees, according to the car. That's not a lot of temperature. It's kind of chilly. So I am glad that I am back inside in a sensible place, doing sensible things in the warm. So it looks like we start with these K pieces. Over here. So that I can have my nub, my waste plastic pile. And say, finished off the first leg on the unicorn last night, which was good. It all came together really nicely. So I think tomorrow evening stream, hoping to be able to finish off, if I can get the other leg and the backpack done, that will be, I will consider that a victory. And then we'll be on to building all of the fucking weapons that come with that kit. And believe you me, there's a few of them. I built the full armor, the real grade full armor unicorn, and there seems to be a little bit more stuff with the master grade, on top of, you can, seems to be almost identical set, but in addition you can turn the 2 rocket boosters into some kind of rocket sled, which I absolutely will be doing. Because who doesn't want a rocket sled? So I've been, as I say, I had to leave the house to do part of the bi-weekly shopping trip. This morning was the getting to Costco for opening time, so we could get all the bulk stuff in. So that's left me feeling pretty productive for the day, considering it's a considering I'm on holiday. And then, as I say, after the stream I'm going to go and collect Tesco Click and Collect. I've left the house twice in the same day, which is, you know, it's a lot of leaving the house. Not sure how I feel about it, but needs must. And tomorrow I've got a tip run booked. My life is, you know, just thrilling. But yes, tomorrow off to the tip to get rid of some of the vast quantities of cardboard that have been accumulated through online purchasing over the last God knows how long. We have a recycling collection here, but the problem is that they only come once every 2 weeks, and unfortunately we've been accumulating cardboard faster than that, by quite a lot faster, in fact. What with Christmas, and then we've had a few family birthdays to sort out in the meantime, sort of since Christmas, and then just, well, you know what, Gundams don't come in small boxes, is what it comes down to. I cannot abdicate responsibility here. A lot of the problem is me, and the problem that I cause is that I buy Gundams and they come in boxes. So I currently have a sofa full of cardboard boxes, all flattened down, and I'm hopefully going to be able to fit all of them in the car. And tomorrow take them off to be gotten rid of. Hey, Shitapopu, hey, how you doing? Talking about my thrilling life of arranging tips to the trip to get rid of all the cardboard that accumulates when you keep buying Gunpla kits. Truly, I live the rock and roll lifestyle. How is life with you? Well, I would say now I want lemon ice cream, and I kind of do, but I did, speaking of the rock and roll lifestyle, on my wild and extravagant trip to Costco this morning, they had freshly baked apple crumble loaves available, and I couldn't not get freshly baked apple crumble loaf, and I have now consumed some freshly baked apple crumble loaf, and it was exactly as good as it sounds. So I am thankfully a little bit resistant to a craving for sweet things right now, because I had 2 rather substantial slices. That contained some substantial chunks of apple. Wonder how easy it would be to mock up an ice cream cone for this for this guy to hold. I'll have to have a think about that afterwards. Tell you what, looking at these instructions, these legs are going to be substantially flashy, I think is the term. Everything about this kit is kind of on the over the top side. Not that, you know, that isn't the case with many other Gundams, but particularly so with this one. So we're starting with, I need to start with these. Although, lemon ice cream with the apple bread, that could work. Again, probably best that I've eaten already for lunch and that I'm not having food conversations hungry. I just try not to have an empty stomach, full stop. It's a which is why I'm twice the man I used to be. By volume. Right. More. Just not quite buffed out there. Right. That's much better. Yes. Good. Right, so we start with this. The white part goes onto the grey part. Excellent. So this is the, yep, that's all I've done. So which way around are we? This way around, this. Clips in there like so. And then we need to this one up. getting quite satisfied with using this wet and dry combination for cleaning parts. Getting a nice clean surface off this, which is good. So that's one leg's worth done. One. Also, using wet and dry means I'm not going through finishing paper like there's no tomorrow the way I was before. What? Jesus. That's a real shame. How the hell did she manage that? Was that in a match or in training? Also, that's probably not just out of the Cinderella tournament. That's like big time ouchies. Hannon's in instead. Oh god, that's just crushing. That is a real shame. I mean, I don't think Saida was winning, but I was hoping she was going to have a good showing in the Cinderella. That is a miserable thing to have happen. She's been on a roll as well. Yeah, I mean that's there's going to be a timeline for recovery there that's going to be in the order of weeks or months, I would guess, depending on how bad it is. I mean that's similar to what Jungle Kiona is recovering from, and she's been, yeah. Oof. God, that's just awful. And she's got the future title at the moment as well, hasn't she? I think. I'm so far behind on Stardom that I don't think she's lost the future title. While I haven't been looking. Oh, that really is a shame. God, that means that Stars is really struggling right now, in which case. Right, so just looking at this, I do not need to get this mirror clean the way I did previously on the last part, because it's all completely hidden. So I'm going to save myself some time. Yeah, so Stars is just down to Mayu, Starlight and Hanan. Oof, and Hanan's barely out of rookie status. Yeah. That's, I mean, I just in general hope that we get Kiona back soon, because Kiona is awesome. Yeah, I mean, Hanan's gonna have to step up. It's gonna be a hell of an opportunity for her, and she is very good. For all that she's a rookie, she is excellent. So, no, absolutely. I mean, as I say, I don't think there was ever any likelihood that Saya was winning the that Saida was winning the Cinderella, but yeah, it's never going to feel good to be profiting off the misfortune of others, particularly when everybody's presumably very close. And I mean, they're in the same faction and everything, so. Yes, I did. I'd forgotten, but now you mention it, I was aware that it was 2 rounds on separate weeks. Tell panel liner. I don't. I am primarily. I did look at it. I think I found some places on Amazon that would ship it with Prime shipping when I was looking, but I decided to end up just using the Gundam markers on the grounds that I didn't really want to be dealing with the solvent smell of the panel liner, given I'm working essentially in the 3rd bedroom of the house. It's not very big in here. Yeah, I can't remember what the I was basing it off what the solvent is, the remover, and I think it's cellulose based. Danger, extremely flammable liquid and vapor. Yeah, it's not showing up particularly on Amazon. It was all over the place when I looked for it, sort of just after Christmas. Huh. Oh yes, that could do it, couldn't it? Yeah, it's enamel by the look of it. So yeah, enamel, make sure you got somewhere nice and well ventilated for that. I knew there was a reason why I'd gone with the, because having seen sort of, I watched a bunch of videos on how to panel line, and having seen it done with the Tamiya panel liner, it does look like that's the best way to do it. But then I looked at the gone are the days where I can get away with sitting in an enclosed room with sort of solvent vapors and not come out with a headache at the end of it. So I'll stick with the I'm sticking with the pens for the moment. crack plastic. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if you've got it painted, it's probably easier to it's probably end up with a better result. I just use I've been using the fine liners for all of my panel lining at the moment. Hug is plastic. Thank you for the raid. I'm having a bit of a chill afternoon building the master grade ReZEL. Let's turn that around. What have you been doing on stream today, Hug? For those who haven't been here before, I'm Alex Tremaine. I'm an old man. I build Gundam. That is basically what happens here. Occasionally you will catch me streaming some Magic the Gathering online or similarly, but I'm on leave this week. I don't have to be in work, so I'm streaming because I'm building, and there's no point in building and not streaming, so here I am. Welcome to the party. I mean, probably could get some booze, but I've got to drive later, sadly. Ooh, I've seen pictures of that. That's a good looking kit. That is a very nice looking kit. Is it going well? I am indeed British. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, and I am on annual leave, and that means I can do whatever the fuck I like. As I say, this kit needs building, and I might as well stream it. Now that depends on where you come from, Shitty. You know, I mean, some areas of the country do pronounce their T's. I don't promise to pronounce all of them. But I do pronounce some of them. Everything about this kit is chunky. It does feel like somebody decided they wanted this kit to be just all of the over the top, and they got their way. There's also some kind of transformation aspect to this as well, which I look forward to investigating further once it's a little bit more together. think I knew this kit was going to be interesting when I realised only about half the manual is building the Gundam itself, and then the rest of it is everything that mounts on the backpack and the extra weapons. Right, let's see how these have... Guns come out okay. So that can go in there. And that one has also come out okay. Let's get that. This is right. I think these are upper legs is my guess, but I'm not 100% certain. It's difficult to tell at this stage. To give lose parts. To give an idea of what we're sort of aiming for here. This is the sort of end result that we're heading towards, and we have choices as to the sheer quantity of daftness that we have choices as to the different types of daftness we can mount on the back of this thing. So I think the quantity is fairly static. Much because they're very tiny nub marks. Let's not throw parts all over the floor. It's always embarrassing. Never a good thing. Also, I haven't vacuumed in here anywhere near recently enough, and I don't really want to go hunting around on the floor for parts. Everything down there is cat fur. Right, so and get the right parts here. I think that's coming up quite nicely. And a lot of it's the difference between the white and the grey is not as visible on the camera as it is in person, but there's actually quite a nice there's quite a nice amount of contrast there. Quite pleased with those. Right, so where were we? We are up here. So K, 16, 17 and 21. Where is sprue K? Sprue K is here. 16, 17 and 21. And we're also going to need 15. Okay. Let's grab all of these while we're here. And 21. Now I think these are going to be the hip joints, but I'm not 100% certain on that. And we also need one of the rubbery parts, PCR QR. There we go. So question we've got to ask ourselves is how many of these nub marks are going to be in any way visible by the time this is built? And I think the answer is probably not terribly many of them. So that sits in there like so. Then we need, this is going to need cleaning up. Yeah, we've been really lucky. My work has been very generous with the annual leave over Easter this year. We don't normally get this many days over Easter, but they've. I think part of it is convenience for the organisation, in that having a shutdown over Easter allows them to them to do some things with the site that they wouldn't be able to otherwise. So it's a bit of a double bonus for them. But I'm not complaining, because it means I get to not do work for a week. Also, welcome life is peachy. Yeah, it's the whole week. They gave us an extra 4 days. The The payment for it is that we are expected to. They're going to be quite strict with people who try to take annual leave in large quantities in summer as soon as the lockdown lifts off. So the idea basically being is you get an extra 4 days now for free, but come August you don't all get to fuck off and use up all of your annual leave in one go. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it, basically. I quite like... Ooh. That's nicely... That comes out looking very nice. It's a little... I don't know how well it's going to show up here. But the little screw head effects on the four pins that have come through the top circle. That's really nice. Yeah, double-edged to a degree, but it's still 4 extra days leave, so I'm not complaining, basically. And I will admit, from a personal perspective, the likelihood that I was going to try and take 3 weeks off in August was pretty low in the first place, so it's less of a downside for me personally. I'm sure some people are having problems with it, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, welcome to the stream, Life is Peachy. If anybody is not already familiar with Life is Peachy is also a streamer. They stream kit building as well, though mostly of a I don't know what the correct terminology is. I know you've recently been building a sort of miniature caravanette type thing, and building all of the furniture that's been going in there. I feel like I'm missing something obvious here for what the genre is. I don't want to say like dollhouse building, but it's kind of that scale, I guess. Miniature real life. Either way, whatever the proper term for it is, it ends up looking really good. So go and have a look at their streams, give them a follow. It's well worth it. It has cleaned up nicely. So this, then which way round does this need to be? This needs to be this way round. And we there it is. Clip that through and then rotate it 45 degrees apparently. Can we get that? Actually to 45 degrees is the question. Close. That'll have to do. There we go. And then this sits on top of it. it was a bit weird in the office when I keep saying in the office, like I've been in the office in the last 12 months, which I really haven't. And I'm not going back into the office until I absolutely have to. But it's been weird sort of talking to people who have been less impressed with this 4 extra days of leave than I have been. Grumpy that they won't get to necessarily go on their planned holidays in August, and it's like, well, did you really think that the whole organisation was going to let 50% of everybody go on annual leave all at the same time when the restrictions disappeared? It's like, the business doesn't shut down, you know. They heard everybody talking about booking all of this annual leave in the middle of summer and saving up their leave to do so, and they decided to do something about it. It's like, don't know what you thought was going to happen. But the organisation cannot support this many people going on leave for extended periods all at once. I've been sort of, sleeping. I have been using annual leave throughout the lockdown in a sort of, you know what? Today I do not feel like dealing with the world. Call boss, see if I can book annual leave. If I can, today is just a day that doesn't happen. And that's worked out pretty well. Right. There we go. That is a completed hip joint-esque thing. I think this isn't going to end up being a hip joint. It's difficult to tell. Either way, it wants me to build another one. So that's what we're going to do. I have very little desk space and an awful lot of sprues going on here. It took a while to get used to working from home, but eventually it yeah, I mean, building kits, playing computer games, definitely on the list. All of these things have definitely happened when I've called in and gone, nah, annual leave today please. Also, sometimes you just end up not realising how tired you are and how long it's been since you actually took a break. And that why am I just staring at this? An annual leave sort of has helped with that. Being able to say, you know, actually this week, just no. But I tell you what, I've been ready for this week off. Work has been an experience recently. for reasons I have no desire to go into. And I am just glad not to. I'm glad to be able to get up whenever the hell I like, with the caveat that I've had things to do. I had to get up to go shopping this morning, and in a fit of proactivity, I booked tomorrow's slot for a trip to the tip far too early in the morning, but did that to myself, and it does mean that I can get rid of all the empty boxes that we've got lying around the house. I mean, I don't know what it's like where you are, but certainly here we have to, not only do we have to book slots for the tip, when we arrive at the tip we have to prove that we are residents of this tip's, that we live in this tip's catchment area. So I have to take my driving license to present to prove that I live in the area, and I'm not, you know, a tip tourist, I guess. I think my parents said they had to. My parents live down in Wiltshire, and they were saying that they had to book for the tip as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the crack is. Why it's are there people doing this? You know, going from one area to another just to use the tip? It seems a little weird to me. I've struggled to work up enough effort just to go to the tip that's 10 minutes down the road, let alone the one that going to a literal other council area to use somebody else's tip. It seems a little over the top, but I guess they must. Yeah, probably. It was never a problem before. This is all a sort of post-COVID situation. You know, prior to COVID, it was just a case of show up whenever the hell you like. You didn't have to present identification. You just go to the tip and throw your stuff in the skips. You know. Really. There you go. Tip tourists. Go figure. That is, you learn something new every day. The tip's certainly popular. When we booked, we were it's like a week or something's delay to get a slot. We were hoping to get something earlier in the week, and we ended up getting Friday, I think, and there weren't that many slots available on Friday either. And I definitely need to do more than one tip run. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. And I guess people like us who are just ordering a lot more off the internet than I used to, and therefore it's well, the sheer quantity of cardboard boxes that I need to get rid of tomorrow is going to at least fill the car. It might more than fill the car, it's difficult to tell. I guess we'll find out the hard way tomorrow. Come on, just stop there. Yeah. I probably have about a carload's worth of crap from the garage to get rid of, which will be satisfying once done. Cats are going to be disappointed when all the boxes go away. They've been essentially using them as a giant fort. They alternate who gets to be king or queen of the boxes. Right, so this then clips on here. Right, two rather nicely put together, and I do really like this this sort of flathead screwdriver effect on those pins coming through. I don't even know if that's going to be visible once this is all assembled, but it's a really nice touch nevertheless. So, it is 2:30. I'm going to take a break in a second, but because that's a step completed, as it were. In fact, let's take a break now. Going to be back in 5 minutes. Do the whole liquid in, liquid out process. Grab yourself some fresh liquid in supplies, snacks, whatever you need, and I shall be back in a couple of minutes. See you on the other side. Right, I'm back. Welcome back to the stream. I'm Alex Tremaine. I'm an old man that builds Gundam. Currently, this is just an extra stream building this Master Grade ReZEL because I was building this Master Grade ReZEL and streaming seemed like the thing to do. I have this week off because my work is bribing us with extra annual leave to not take annual leave all at the same time in summer. So here I am building a Gundam, and the reason I'm sort of going hard on this one is that a little while back on stream I mentioned that that I had an impulse control failure and picked up the perfect grade Banshee Norn and one of the LED lighting kits to go with it. And I did that because I couldn't get hold of the perfect grade Unicorn. And then literally a couple of days later the perfect grade Unicorn came back in stock. And I was like, you know what, it'll probably still be in stock come next payday or even a couple of paydays time. They got a few back in stock, which was really nice, you know. And today, because my wife is apparently the best human, this came through the door. So I now have 3 perfect grade kits in my backlog, 2 of which are Unicorn variants, one of which is this, which is absolutely getting the lighting kit. And as previously mentioned, it turns out my wife is just like way too nice to me, by some distance way too nice to me. Entertainingly, just as an extra thing, they also included the Navigation Catalogue 2019. I don't know why, if this was just we have them lying around and so now we're putting all of our 2-year-old catalogues in because it gets them out of our warehouse. I don't know, but it's a cool little thing to flick through. But yes, because I don't want 3 kits on the go, and I really want to get dug into that, I need to finish this. Obviously I'm not going to change anything that I'm doing on my sort of scheduled streams on the Tuesday and Thursday nights. The full armor Unicorn will be finished there. I don't know what I'm going to be building on stream and what I'm going to be building off stream. I have a feeling it's a bit of a toss-up. I think what I may do is build the perfect grade Unicorn off stream with the lighting kit, and then get another lighting kit and do the Banshee Norn on stream. But I'm not sure. We will see how that goes. That is decisions for future time, because I think I've probably got at least 2 more weeks worth of the Master Grade Unicorn to get through. Plus the fact that I've got to finish this beast, and as previously shown, whilst we're a fair way through the robot section of this particular construction, the oh, for God's sake, there is an awful lot of backpack to go with the robot here. So we are some distance away from completing this one, which means that what we must do is crack on with this, and that means I need sprue R apparently. So let's see if we've got sprue R already. I've got sprue Q and S down here, but I do not have sprue R. let's have a look in the box. I also have a single screw as part of this kit. I do not know where that goes. We'll find out together. Well, we might do. That is sprue R. In fact, 2 sprue R's. 2 sprue R's? 2 sprues R? 2 sprues R, I think is the grammar I'm going to go for there. So I think these are another ABS sheet. So I think these can go together up here. So what are we doing here? We are still in the making 2 of everything section of the building these legs apparently. So we need R 9, 10, 13 and 14. So 9 and 10 are here. Thirteen, 14. Just hang that up with the other sprue R. So let's get everything and cut off this. So these actually different. Oh yes, they are. Okay, interesting. No idea how visible these parts are going to be. I hope not terribly because I'm doing a really bad job of dealing with these curved surfaces. So I mentioned that this evening as every Wednesday, I have I'm currently running a Hero 5th edition game for some friends. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the hero system, it is exactly what it says on the tin. It's designed to let you roleplay as superheroes or villains, people with powers. And so my party over the last couple of sessions, and particularly last session and the session before, managed to essentially announce the existence of superheroes to the world, or superpowered beings to the world. So I'm looking forward to this evening, because this evening they get to deal with the consequences of that, of which there will be many. Aunt May is not really the issue here. Only one of the characters ended up with. I mean, the whole system is built around comic book tropes, so dependent non-player character is a flaw you can take, and one of the players have taken that flaw, but they've taken that flaw with regard to their dog. So at some point, and I haven't decided when, but if you take a flaw, that means something's got to happen with the flaw. So at some point Sydney's getting kidnapped. At some point Sydney the dog is getting kidnapped, and there is going to be some time that the players are going to have to spend working out how they're going to retrieve Sydney the dog from whatever terrible thing has befallen him. What the heck? This is... this way round. Wow, this is a real tight snap fit. There's no... Okay, no, this just needs to go through. No, the consequences are going to be a little bit more interesting than that, I think. They've got a... The consequences are going to be more sort of in the realms of well, people didn't know super beings existed, and now they do. And some people are going to see, shall we say, opportunities? The players also accidentally managed to give superpowers to two mafia princesses last session as well. So, I mean, they were already not doing well. So this needs to go together like so. Wow, this does not want to snap together. Is there a... No, there is nothing there. So let's try and do this. Ha! There we go. It just needed more force. Let's see if we can duplicate the more force situation. So yes, no personal consequences for them as yet, because nobody knows who they are or where they live. But that time will come. Mostly they're going to have to work out the social and political consequences of the whole situation. Ah, there we go. Good grief. Right, so I don't know what needs to be quite that robust for, but it is now that robust. And now I've got to build a second one. So we need the other sprue R, which is this one. The most critical thing is the players have to come up with names for themselves. superhero names. Because if they don't come up with superhero names for themselves, I, in my infinite generosity as the GM, standing in for the internet within the setting, will come up with superhero names for them, and they may not appreciate that. I can guarantee they won't appreciate that, I'll be honest. If they make me come up with their names, they'll regret it. When last we left the game, the videos were already circulating on the in-game internet of their exploits. Memes were being made. I've given them the opportunity to control the narrative, and I guess we'll find out how good at that they are. In the meantime, the government agency that was hunting them down now knows what city they're in at the very least, and is definitely coming for them. And the party have discovered that they can accidentally give people superpowers, which is, you know, a bit of a downside. Depending on who they accidentally give superpowers to. As previously mentioned, they discovered this the hard way. By accidentally giving superpowers to a mafia heiress and her bodyguard. Now, admittedly, you know, it wasn't instantly problematic, in that there were Nazis to deal with at the time. And the Mafia can get behind dealing with Nazis just as much as anybody can. But they've dealt with the immediate Nazi problem now. Right, let's see if this side goes together any easier than the other side did. I have this horrible suspicion that it's going to be just as much of a bastard. That's one. Let's try and get... Let's be a little bit more sensible about this. There we go. That's two. And then this needs to go on the other side. Oh, there we go. Right. Good grief. That is a hell of a tight fit. Right, that's two of those built. What the heck do they want me to build next? R11 and P12. Twice. So R11, hazard a guess, is this one? Yes, it is. R11 and a second R11. And P12. Where is sprue P? I'm sure I've got sprue P somewhere. Those are K. This is C, F, R, G, I, J, E, Q, S. No, okay, we haven't got sprue P yet. Let's find sprue P. These are sprue O. These are sprue P, so P12. I am running out of places to put all the sprues that are currently in use. P12 and P12. There we go. Right, it's going to have to go there for the moment. Making myself extra tables out of perfect grade boxes, it would appear. Drink. I want something that's a little less less in the way of white noise. So how are these? This is going to go in here. Nothing on these is going to be visible, so I do not need to spend any time trimming these down, particularly sanding these rather. These are going to need a little bit more attention. Anyway, I shall report back tomorrow as to whether my players did come up with names for themselves. I know some of them have. Some of them were considering leaving it to me, which, you know, I counselled against. Because as GM, I am both not on the player character's side. I'm on the side of the players in that I want the players to have a good time, but I'm not on the player character's side. So yes, I am both not on the player character's side, and I'm also terrible at coming up with names. So I strongly recommended that they did not leave it to me. has this come up? Oh, very clean. Can't remember who it was suggested using wet and dry paper, but boy does it work. Right, so this then mistakes were just made. Read the instructions, numbskull. Because I just forgot to put a part in. No, that's not going to do the job. Whew, there we go. So let's put in the rubbery piece that's supposed to go in here. Let's get both of these out so that we do not forget the one on the other side. I made there. So this goes in here like so. And then becomes part of that. Right, that could have been a lot worse. Right. Oh no, we've already done that. We need to do the wet and dry section of the process. How are we doing for time? 20 past 3. Still got a little while to go yet. Right, that's come up alright. I have put the rubbery bit in this one, so I can actually just push it together without worrying. Right. So I need 2 O5s. No, I need 4 O5s. Got O somewhere. No, that's G. Do I not have O yet? No, apparently not. Well, there's only one bag of sprues left to open after this. So we need 05 times 4. 05, that is these two. And then for the next section we need 04, so I'm going to grab that now as well. There we go. There's some fairly serious rockets that are lucky that are going on here. There we go. Right. Also we have to go down there for the moment. We need P9. P was here. P9 is this. And this one. So let's put those out of the way for the moment. And let's start with all of these little booster rockets. So many knobs. So much butter on my fingertips. Right. I'm doing well today. Just throwing the parts casually around. To-do. There it is. Losing track of the nub marks. There we go. Go over these with wet and dry to get a nice finish on them. Right. Huh. Well, it's the advantage of wet and dry is that you just clean it as you go. Ooh, sanding down primer. Ooh, rather you than me. There are, you know, several reasons why I generally speaking stick to not painting these models. And one of the main ones is painting is messy. I might at some point learn to paint these things properly and give it a better go, but for the moment I'm just going to stick with there we go. I think I'm just going to stick with panel lining as the limit of the process. And to be fair, panel lining does make an enormous difference. I need to get back to actually doing some panel lining on the Master Grade Unicorn. I've only done the torso so far on that, and I'm rapidly ending up with quite a lot more of that build to that needs panel lining. Come on, there we go. But yes, having not entirely the same experience, but having occasionally done the sanding down paintwork on the car, I do not envy you sanding down primer. It is an unpleasant and unforgiving task. At least on a car, it's normally, broadly speaking, flat surfaces. Big flat surfaces. I will admit I am not regretting moving to using wet and dry for finishing off parts like this. Not regretting it at all. I mean, I'm using as I say, this is 1500 grit, and it gets a much cleaner effect than the 1500 grit finishing paper I was using previously, and it lasts so much longer. Nice. Nice. Let's get these fitted. There we go. Rocket boosters, and then those fit into these apparently. Let's see how this works. So release nice narrow edges for sanding. this side. Losing track of where the nub marks are. Nice. Nearly there. Yep. Looks fine. That also looks fine. So, how does this go together? This way round, this way round. And then like so. There we go. Let's finish off this one. Right, and again this then goes in here. Like so. Right, we have all sorts of parts that are going to go into these legs. We're very nearly at the point where we're going to go to a single leg at a time. And actually end up with some legs. Right, so G8, K9 and K10 twice, and K11 and K12. 9, 10, 11, 12. just predictably embarrassing. Where did that go? Avoid running over it with the casters on the chair, because that would just be deeply annoying. Right, where were we? So we've got all of these, and we need G8. G is, I want to say, this one. And G8 is these. I'm very much looking forward to seeing exactly how this is all going to come together, because right now there's an awful lot of random pieces of armour that we've got here, and I'm not exactly seeing the sort of the final vision of how this is going to work. Right, so this is a pair. Good afternoon, Two Quick Builds. what we are working on is the master grade ReZEL. Here's where we are currently with this. Been rather enjoying this kit. There's a lot to it. Currently building the legs right now. There's been an awful lot of create 2 of these bits which will eventually go into the legs that's been going on. I'm on the last create 2 of these bits section of the process, and hopefully we'll have something that looks closer to actual legs very shortly. Also, welcome to the stream. I'm Alex Tremaine. I build Gunpla. I occasionally stream games as well, but broadly speaking, I build Gunpla. This is not the main build for streaming at the moment. My primary build at the moment is a full armor unicorn. Yeah, legs are frequently quite substantial, but everything about this build has been quite substantial, to be honest. There's a lot to this. They seem to have decided that what this Gundam needed was more armor plates in weird angles and places, and I'm here for it basically. That's pretty much my aesthetic on these things. Either lots or very clean. Yeah, I mean the unicorn, the master grade unicorn I'm currently building, just one leg took me several hours, and that's because there's just so much sort of moving parts going on in a unicorn leg. Ooh, the Exia. I do like the look of the Exias. They're a good-looking Gundam. Those and sort of I'm a big fan of the unicorn. I'd like to get myself. I would really like to get myself a Barbatos, and a Sinanju, and an Exia would be nice as well. But sort of currently at the mercy of what is available in the UK at any given moment. The answer to which is often not a great deal. I will admit I've yet to do a high grade build recently. I did a few high grade Evangelions in the 90s, but since I've really sort of got into Gunpla since Christmas, I started out with a real grade, and since then I've done a couple of perfect grades, a real grade, and now I'm on the two builds that I've currently got going. Ooh, the 7 sword. I do like the 7 sword. I have, as of today, because in case I haven't mentioned it recently, my wife is the best human in the world. As of today, I have 3 perfect grades in my backlog. I have down there a Strike Freedom Perfect Grade. I have down here a Banshee Norn Perfect Grade, and as of this morning I have down here a Unicorn Perfect Grade, and I have the lighting kit for the Unicorn, so I am very much looking forward to that. They're not terribly visible, but I've also got up here, this is the Perfect Grade Strike Rouge, that's the Master Grade Banshee, and then just off to the right is the, or the left from your view, is the that's the Wave Rider mode of the Perfect Grade Zeta. Right, so we now need K11 and 12, and we need PCA, which is one of the rubbery bits. PCA. Both of those. When I was getting the, or when I got the Strike Freedom, the Seven Sword was the other Perfect Grade I was looking at that point, and the only reason I got the Strike Freedom over the Seven Sword was because at that point there were the storefront I was buying from still had several Seven Swords in stock, as did a couple of other places that I'd looked, but this was the only Strike Freedom I could find anywhere. So at some point the Seven Sword will be on the list, but as I said, I'd really like to get hold of a Barbatossaurus and Anju at some point. That's fair. Sometimes you've just got to go for it. Ooh, I don't blame you. I think even, I mean, this is the, I'm currently on my second Unicorn build. I built the real grade full armor Unicorn. I'm building the Master Grade full armor Unicorn. I've built the Master Grade Banshee already, and I still just love the Unicorn. Yeah, absolutely. This was the first one I did, which is the full armor Unicorn. Obviously not all of the full armor stuff is here, but this has been panel lined, and every now and again when I get bored I continue the ridiculous process of getting all the stickers onto that, because it came with so many fucking stickers, that kit. Did you finish the Axia last night, or have you still got more to go on it? Oh, congratulations. Was it worth the problems that you had with it? That's the important thing. Were the results what you wanted them to be? Yeah, so the Banshee I've got, the MG Banshee I've built is the regular version, and the full armor Unicorn I'm building is Master Grade Unicorn I'm building is the Verkar. There's actually next to no difference in the build. It's just in the slight differences in the proportions of stuff, basically. Well, human error happens. As long as you learn from it, that's the important thing. I made some errors when building some of these. I've literally made some errors on stream today. Right, we have what I suspect here is a knee joint. Let's build another one. One of the things I'm looking forward to with getting back to perfect grades is that one of the great things about them is that the parts are just physically bigger, which means they're less of a pain in the arse for my stubby fingers to deal with. The real grade kits are absolutely fantastic. I recently built the real grade new Gundam on stream with the... I managed to lay my hands on the HWS expansion kit for that as well. And that was a fantastic build, really enjoyed it, but tiny parts are tiny. And large fingers are large. So I've been quite liking the increased size of the master grades here, but I will admit I did find the two perfect grades I did the easiest to sort of physically work on, just because ooh, nice. That's one of the large-scale HGs, is it? I know they've done a few that have been... that are HGs, but big. Yeah, I know they have done some sort of HG-esque, sort of high grade level but larger scale kits, which is nice. What I would say, talking about perfect grey kits is, whilst I really enjoyed building the Zeta Gundam, and it's a hell of a feat of engineering, if you're not a fan of tiny springs and tiny screws and picking them up off the floor when you drop them, then the perfect grade Zeta is probably not the best kit. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, you know. It's horses for courses, whatever kind of kit makes you happy with the result and gives you what you want. I've seen people ask occasionally, you know, well, how do you choose what kits you buy and build? And my answer is always the same. I get the kits that look the coolest. My knowledge of Gundam is actually pretty poor as a property and as a story. I've watched very little Gundam, few episodes here and there, so my choice in kit is entirely based on what looks awesome. And that's different for everybody. Yeah, so people tell me, Shitty. There is apparently some variety of some variety of visual storytelling media that takes these excellent model kits and tells a story based on them, which is like, you know, who would have thought to do that? I mean, don't get me wrong, at some point I am going to sit down and go through some of the Gundam anime, because people have been telling me it's been great since the 90s, you know, and by all accounts it's actually been great since the 70s. Gundam is a very similar age to me, not exactly, but it's not far off. I had a look at one point to see, you know, what series there were and whether there was any advice on which one to watch first or anything, and you know what the recommendations were, and I looked through, and there has not been a year, there has been not a single year since 1979 where some variety of Gundam anime has not been released. They have released at least something every single year for 42 years. Which is frankly batshit levels of perseverance. But it also means that it's an intimidating back catalogue. And at some point I will sit down and watch some of it. But I've got to catch up on all of the professional wrestling in my life before I can work on animated anime, because professional wrestling is just anime anyway. Yeah, I've heard good things about Endless Waltz. I've heard good things about the Unicorn series. I'm told original Gundam and Gundam Zeta both still hold up really well. I'm a little more, when it comes to the WoW Robots end of anime, I'm a little bit more familiar with Macross than I am with Gundam, I'm afraid. Right, so this goes in here, and we take this, that goes in there, right, so that is all the build 2 of everything section of these legs. So we need J1 and J4. Spirit J I've got knocking around here somewhere. So we're starting on the right leg. J1. 2 quick builds, thank you for the follow, really appreciate it. So that's J1, and we need J4. What else do we need? K22. Spoo K is over here. K 20, 21, 22 is up here. There we go. Yeah, at some point I'm just gonna. I mean, some of the Gundam series is available on Netflix, I believe. I think Unicorn is on Netflix, but I could be wrong about that. What I do keep looking for is to see if talking of Macross, Bandai, in one of their forays into their occasional forays into non-Gundam intellectual properties, they did some of the they did what looks to be a really nice limited edition kit of the YF-19 Valkyrie from Macross Plus, I would really like to get hold of, but they seem to be like hen's teeth. I've come across a few places that used to stock them. And I've come across a few places that will sell them to you for a lot of money that I don't have. So that's one of my sort of occasionally keep an eye out for. Because that was sort of the series that really got me into Macross. Not that Macross has been tremendously easy to get hold of in this country over the years. It's still not super easy to get hold of, like, just... No, let me rephrase that. Last time I checked, which was a little while back now, it wasn't easy to get hold of a copy of an English copy of the full original Macross series. You could get the condensed movie version, Macross Do You Remember Love, without too much difficulty, but the actual full series not so much, which I'd like to get hold of at some point. But I love Macross Plus, such a good anime. And I do like the design of the Valkyries. I think they're just a really nice, a really solid mecha design. I have from when I was a child. Once upon a time, there was this property called Transformers. Very few people have heard of it these days. And they at one point they ended up using, they created a bunch of, so this goes in here, like so, and this goes in here, here, like so. And they created a bunch of, one of the Transformers they made was Jetfire. They ended up for some reason, and I used to know what happened. I'd have to look it up these days, but for some reason when they went to create the when they went to make a toy for Jetfire, for sort of G1 Transformers, they ended up using Valkyries from Macross. And it was something to do with either overproduction or a problem with production somewhere, and they just it was what they had available, and at the time it was more important to get the Transformer toys out than it was to get these Macross toys out. So they just used these Valkyries that they'd already manufactured for the Jetfire model, and I have one of those from when I was a small boy. that G1 Transformers was when I was a small boy should give you some indication as to my age. And that when I say I'm an old man that builds Gundam, I am not kidding. But yeah, when I passed all of my Transformers on to my nephew, that was the one I kept because it's still fucking cool. I'll be honest, Eureka 7 is not one I've come across. And I'm going to hazard a guess that might be because it's a little more recent, and I ended up there's nothing extra to go here. Oh no, leg. Let's actually put the ankle in here. So where does this sit? This sits in there, like so. Yes. I kept up with anime in the 90s, and then I, for a long while, did not have time to keep up with anime on top of everything else that was going on in the world and life and, you know, working and things, which was new and terrifying. So I've sort of missed out on a lot of anime from the sort of mid-2000s onwards. I really lost track of anime and what the hell was going on with this. Cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with more recent anime. Don't get me wrong. That isn't a criticism or anything. It's just that, you know, I got into this period where I just I wasn't able to keep up with anime. So this needs to go in this way round. I was right, that is the hip joint. So we need C5 and 6. Look, this is an actual leg going on here. Where's C? Is this C? Yes. As I say, I just sort of, I didn't have time to keep up with anime, which was a shame, because my understanding is that there's been an awful lot of good stuff in the intervening period that I've just kind of missed out on. We need G9, which is this. Let's start with this. There is a lot to these legs, Hug. There really is. I mean, we have a leg here, and then all of these pre-built assemblies plus some more bits are having to go on here somewhere. So we'll see how it pans out. There is a lot to this build. I would really recommend it. I think it's good looking. I mean, from the pictures I've seen on it, it looks fantastic. I would say the mold quality on this kit is really strong. Everything is really precise. There's very little in the way of flashing and mold lines. I have not had to fettle any parts to get them to fit properly. I mean, when you look at this surface here, where this grey part matches with the sort of orangey yellow part, that just fit together, snapped together perfectly, and the seams all match spot on. And it's yeah, I am strongly impressed with this kit. If you ever are able to find a copy, I would very much recommend it. I bought it in the sort of, that looks cool, which is my normal strategy for these things, and I am really pleased that I took the chance. You're all pretty. I hate nub marks on concave surfaces. They're always the worst to get rid of. So, if you don't mind me asking, Hogan Too Quick, where are you based? Are you out in the US or are you UK? I have no real concept of what time it is. I struggle to have a concept of what time it is here, let alone where anybody else is in the world. US West Coast. So it's... You're what, 8 hours behind us? So it's what, 8 o'clock in the morning, half 8 in the morning over there? Oof. Well, I don't know if I envy people who don't sleep. I guess I kind of envy people who don't need a lot of sleep. But I do function a lot better when I've slept a lot, so it always feels like it would really suck if I couldn't sleep. I don't have anything that just shows my builds. There is a YouTube channel which is not 100% up to date, but will be before the end of the week, with all of archived streams. I've only been streaming for a couple of months. Yeah, getting old. Sleep is very much something I do these days. As I say, I only started streaming a little while back. So my first build is all up on the YouTube channel. There's a link in the Twitch description for my channel here. That has the real grade new build with the HWS expansion, and I haven't got anything. Let me just get this. Let's just have a look at this. This isn't going to. None of this is ever going to be visible, is it? Essentially, this is going to live here. Nobody's ever going to see anything there. Excellent. Right. 1 second. So, well, let's do the easy one because it's right here. First build, real grade unicorn. This is the full armor variant. This was a hell of a lot of fun. Strongly recommend this kit. It's excellent. Still haven't finished putting all the decals on. There are like 3 million decals this kit comes with, and there are only so many hours in the day. This is my current main on-stream build, which is the Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn. This is coming along quite nicely, but as you can see, it is still a leg down. We have the Sky Grasper, which comes as part of the Strike Rouge Perfect Grade kit. This is really quite nice. I like that. The intention is always to do the decals eventually, but I enjoy the build part of it so much that I tend to rush on to the next build, and I go back and do the decals when I don't really have time to get out the board and the cutters and everything, but I do have time to either do a bit of panel lining or grab the tweezers and put some decals on. So it's sort of, decals happen, but they happen slow. So this was my first on-stream build. This is the real grade new with the HWS expansion kit. It's got a big ass shield on it. It's got some extra armor pieces, a giant fucking gun and some rockets in its pectorals, and what more can you want than rockets in your pectorals? We have the Master Grade Banshee. This is not the Verkar, this is just the standard Banshee. But it's still pretty sweet. I really enjoyed that build. The result is definitely worth it, even if it's not necessarily the best quality moulding on that kit, I don't think, but it's still good. We have the Perfect Grade Strike Rouge with the Ale Striker on its back. Actually, hang on. Let's do this a little differently. Hello. There we go. This is the Strike Rouge. I would strongly recommend this kit. There's a lot of value in this. If you get this, you get that Sky Grasper that I showed off earlier, and this was just a really clean and fun build all round. It's just really nice. Very much recommend. And finally we have the Perfect Grade Zeta, which is currently in Wave Rider form. Again, this is a fantastic kit, really enjoyable build. There are a lot of tiny springs and screws in this kit. Be aware of that if you decide to go for it. The transformation is fiddly as fuck, but this was my first Perfect Grade and I really enjoyed it. It certainly got me over any worry that that Perfect Grades were going to be too much. There we go. By the time I'd done that, I was not worried about doing any Perfect Grades afterwards. Right, so these need properly sanding down. And that's everything I've built. In my backlog, as of today, because my wife is the best, I have the Perfect Grade Unicorn, the Perfect Grade Banshee Norn, and a Perfect Grade Strike Freedom to build. All of which I'm very much looking forward to. As I say, one of the nice things about the Perfect Grades is that they're just physically larger. And if your fingers are not necessarily the most delicate in the world, then a Perfect Grade can have advantages that you weren't necessarily expecting. Hey Life's Peachy, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna have to put up a shelf soon. very soon, possibly this week. But they look so good. Oh, isn't it just? Yeah, out for delivery is awful. Right, so these are going on there like so. There we go. You over there. Right. So, which order are we going here? C2 and C7. Which is spruce C? That's this one. Ooh, yeah, no, I am cutting the right one out. 7. And 2. I think you will not regret the perfect grade. I hope you find it very enjoyable. And this way around. Yeah, I'm looking forward to streaming a perfect grade build once I've finished the full armor unicorn. As I say, I'm now a little torn as to exactly which perfect grade I'm building first, but I'm looking forward to streaming one of them. I don't think I'm going to be streaming all of the perfect grades. I think I will keep at least one of them to build off stream, because sometimes you just want to build and not necessarily stream, which is why I have this kit in the first place. And here I am streaming it. Yeah, I've certainly found value in looking back at things I've done on stream that maybe I shouldn't, that maybe were not the correct choice. But I just enjoy the building, so, and sometimes I'm not in the mood to make myself to sort of be online. You know, some days I've just had enough of people, but I want to relax with a nice build. When work's been shitty, or something else has happened in the world, and all I want to do is sit down and build a giant robot. That's what I have the off-stream kits for. Right, so this goes on this side. Like so. We've done now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to consider wrapping up fairly shortly. I've got, I have a click and collect shopping slot which is rapidly expiring, and we do need to eat, so I am going to have to disappear off to go and pick up the food fairly shortly. But I am going to, I've got a couple more minutes. We'll get at least this piece of armour fitted. completely missed the nub there. Let's get this. That's better. Right, so this then clips on. Ah, no. First, one of our pre-created parts goes on. Dripping water on the book. So this clips on like so. That does look rather good. And then this goes in why is that not sitting flush? Flush on one side. Where's the... Oh, I see. Right, yes, fine. Come on. Back off you come. There we go. Let's try this again. That does seem correct. Ah, there we go. I see. Right. Lower leg armour. What else is left to do on here? F11 and left F12. Yeah, we probably got just about enough time to do that. Yes. F11 and 12 are here. We will have actually finished this leg by the look of it, which will be quite a satisfying time to call it an afternoon. Right, so one goes there. These have come up. This one goes here, like so, and then that assembly apparently clips on over the top there. And there we have a leg with enormous great rocket boosters on the side. Everything about this kit is so very, very extra, and I love it. I'm afraid that is the point at where I'm going to have to call it for this afternoon. Thank you all for coming along. It's been a fantastic afternoon. Much progress has been made. All of these various parts have also been assembled as part of this afternoon's work. Yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow evening, UK time tomorrow evening, that is, 7 till 10 o'clock. That will be the continuation of the Master Grade Unicorn build. It might run a bit later than normal because I don't have to be in work on Friday. This will be continued off stream as well. It may I may stream some more of this on Friday, but it will probably already be a little further along, as this is not my main build for the stream. But it has been lovely to chat to you all. Thank you for the company. I do appreciate it. It makes these builds a little bit more, a little bit quicker and more interesting while I'm doing it. So I hope you all have a fantastic evening. I will go off and get some shopping and then eat some food, and then torture some players in a role-playing game this evening. I mean, I will run a role-playing game this evening and make my players have fun. I hope you all have pleasant things to do for the rest of the day, and I shall see you in the future. Have a good have a good whatever the hell time of day it is for you. Rest of the day for those of you over on the west coast of the US, evening for those of you in the UK. Whatever it is, enjoy it, and I will see you in the future.